Hello and welcome to Prelaunch Devlog number 9. So this week has been awesome because I finally got into doing some simple stuff again instead of bashing my head against using or doing ropes all the time. So what I did is I wanted to rig up this sort of realistic looking buoy. So I bought a buoy on the Unity Asset Store and I've rigged it up so that when you increase the wind, the buoy starts going in the direction of the wind. It gets pushed about halfway up on it, and once it hits the edge of the wind, what happens is gets pulled back. So you can see that it's getting pushed by the waves and pushed by the wind as well. But as soon as it hits that edge, it gets pulled back in. These buoys work because they have an anchor point. When it's spawned, it's got an anchor point that goes down, and then they have a certain amount of slack. So you can have a lot of slack or just a little bit. If you change the height of the water from the tide, the buoy will actually move out a little bit longer because it really is trying to maintain that length of the chain in the right distance. So it's pretty awesome. I was really happy that I could just put this together in an afternoon. It's really nice to work on stuff that's a little bit simpler now. The other thing that I've been doing is I've been wanting to make the boat a little better because I have to start doing some marketing stuff. And one of the things that annoyed me is the boat was basically a bunch of gray boxes and cylinders. So I've started putting in a few details in there. The main detail that I put in, which I'm really happy with, is what's called a gooseneck, and that's the connection between the mast and the boom. So the gooseneck looks a lot more realistic. It's designed to both rotate up and down, and that's how you modify the shape of the sail. So there's actually supposed to be a thing that comes between here, and it'll pull the sail down or up. And then also it rotates back and forth, obviously, so that you can go places in with your boat. So as you can see, I'm just sailing along a little bit slowly here. The other thing I added was this edging. It was a little bit hard to see the edge of the boat, and also this edging is on my real boat, so I wanted to add something like that. Super simple. Also added a door because that was really annoying me. I'm probably going to modify this boat a lot more to make it look a little bit sweeter and sexier. I even added this little hook thing here just to make it a little bit more normal. So yeah, not too much that I did this week. Started getting back into it. It was Easter Monday as well. So I'm going to jump out and talk about a few more things.
First off, thanks a lot for the feedback last week. It was really awesome to see how many people were pumped to see the final completion or close enough to the ropes. I was really happy. It was probably the best viewed video in a long time. So really appreciate that. So what are the buoys being used for? So I made these buoys pretty quickly just because I want to be able to put buoys down and then race around with your friends. So the key to those buoys is that they're going to float around, and you can probably place them in multiplayer, so you can set up little courses for yourself. And that really leads into the next point, which is I want to make sure the multiplayer is awesome. The whole point of the game is to be able to sail with your friends and sail on the same boat with your friends. So everything's already sort of set up to do that. I just have to go back and test and actually get some of my friends to help me test, because I've only been able to play, as a network or as a remote network or local. I haven't actually played with people, so I have to do a bunch of testing with that to make sure that works really well. But the focus of the game is realism, so I want to get as close to real sailing as possible. Still have to have some places where it's not exactly like real sailing. For example, wind will go right through one sail and power the next sail, but that's all down the road. I want to add those tweaks as we go along. I just want to get this game out so people can start playing it. So that is the focus of the game: multiplayer and realism, sort of like Gran Turismo. And then the other thing is I actually got out sailing last weekend and got the boat up to about 7 knots, which is pretty quick for that boat. We had really strong winds and went all around. It was really fun, and I'm happy to have the real sailboat working again. I'll probably be posting some devlogs from there in the future just because I want to go on some trips, and I'll have my laptop, but I can't do as much VR stuff. But yeah, it'll be pretty awesome. So the only downside is that I lost my hat, the old sailor hat that I had. I had it on my head, was putting up some sails, and then boom, off. It's gone back to the ocean. So I gotta go out to the dollar store and hopefully buy another one. I hope some child found it on the beach at some point, but kind of sad about that because I had used that a few times. As for the long-term thing, so the next steps that I have before it gets released into early access is I want to make the boat a lot better. I want to make the world a lot better because I have to do marketing for the game. So I need to be able to set up Steam pages and have really good graphics on that. So I have to do those things first so that the game looks a little less basic than it is right now. Really happy with that gooseneck that I made and getting a little bit more details on the boat, but I still got to work on that. Getting the website and Steam page going, getting sound working, which is a big task, but I think I've already gotten a little bit done there. And getting networking working, gameplay fixes, creating game modes, and then finally just launching it. So that's really the next steps. We're really close because I don't have to have any huge major technical problems that I think I'm going to run into. The multiplayer is all working. I just have to tweak it a little bit, but that's the next step. So anyways, last thing is if you want regular updates, subscribe, and I think you can hit a bell, which will then give you updates whenever I post a new video. Please subscribe. I don't care about likes because it's not trying to make this go viral like other websites, but if you want updates, subscribe. I will have an email list pretty soon that people can sign up for, but that's just getting into the next thing. So again, leave some comments below and have a great day. Bye.